A great premise does not equal a great story. Have you ever read like the description of like maybe the back of the book? Was it the blurb or something? Right? Or you ever like read the description online before you click on the episode on Netflix or Crunchyroll, anything like that? Have you ever like read the premise and then you were like, damn, this could be very, very interesting, right? And then you watch like the first two, three episodes, maybe just the first episode, and like this is wasted potential, basically. Have you ever thought of those moments, those times, those stories that wasted your time? Heck, the worst ones are the ones that you stick through it because you've seen the potential, but then they never utilize, they never fulfill the potential at all, ever, and it's just full of disappointment. This is how you really grow hatred for a story, just because you see the potential. It's only when you see the potential and it disappoints you, that's when you grow hatred for a story. Yeah, that's kind of what like led to my thought process to this idea that like, okay, we still have this thought process that great premises means that it's gonna be a great story. Like I realize now that a great premise, it means that it has like a great potential to be a great story, but if it's not executed well, then is going to be wasted. Like I was saying earlier, like it's all about premises is all about the potential, but the execution is really what utilizes a great story. But I am going to mention an element later on, which I think is what helps a great premise become a great story. And I think you could kind of tell based on my writing right here the importance of emotions in storytelling. So let me give you a quick example. All right, so here's my quick example. If you ever watched the show Lazarus, if you haven't, look, great job. You didn't waste your time. But this show almost wasted my time because I think I stopped at like episode 5 or 6, something like that. But I lost hope and I thought this premise was beautiful. It was amazing. Like, look at this. So it's set in a utopian, like, basically world in 2052, and there's like a scientist named Dr. Skinner who developed like this miracle drug, called Hungma. What is it? Hamna? Something like that. And basically it was like a miracle drug that like solved everything, cancer, whatever happens, like hunger, whatever someone's going through, just pop that pill and then you just like revive, like insta revive basically. But what happened is he made a full announcement where it's like, oh, whoever took that in like the past couple of years or however long, yeah, in the next 3 years you're gonna die. And and he says this 3 years later. So basically, whoever took it within the 3 years is like, yeah, you're gonna die soon. So you better find me. I have the cure somehow, but like, yeah, I got something to save everybody. But you gotta find me if you want the cure. Like, I can't just like give you the cure. You know, you have to find me to get the cure and solve and save everybody from this terrible tragedy that's about to happen. So amazing, amazing premise. Like this could get anyone intrigued. It's like, okay, who is this person? Like Dr. Skinner, like he's so mysterious. Why can't he just reveal himself and give everybody the cure? Like what is going on? How did he discover the cure? How did he know that when he first developed the drug that instantly revived people, did he knew that it was gonna have consequences later on, or was it later on that he realized it had consequences in the first place? Like there was so many questions involved in that whole beginning of the episode one and his announcement and speech and how the world was reacting. So that's what got me intrigued in watching the show in the first place. But this is where I'm going to connect it to great premises are not equal to a great story. I think the missing piece is the characters. The characters were like a bunch of misfits, like, I don't know, past criminals or whatever. Yeah, it was like personal criminals that they like committed and stuff, blah blah blah, which is fine. Which is fine. But the only thing that I think is what made me not connect with the characters that well is the fact that these characters had no connection with Dr. Skinner to like, I don't know, the actual like miracle drug. Like they have nothing like deep that like kind of like emotionally had them driven to solve this issue, this problem. Like there's nothing in their personal life other than them themselves taking the drugs, of course, before that really motivates them to complete this mission and do this job. And that's why I went back and stated that. Let me go back here. The importance of emotions in storytelling, and that's what really had me thinking. Like, okay, like what is the missing piece? Like, why am I not feeling these characters that much, even though the plot is so good, right? Like I realize that it's because of the emotion element, and that's why I stated here that a great premise needs emotions to create a great story. Emotions is what forms a connection between readers and characters, and I believe, at least this is my intuition, to engage the reader's emotions, you need to engage your character's emotions. And because the character's emotions were not engaged in the show, and they had nothing like personal that really like deepen their inner purpose to solve this issue and complete this mission and find Dr. Skinner, I think that's where the disconnect began, where I wasn't as invested, even though I know the stakes and what's happening if they don't complete this mission. Like, despite all of that, if the characters don't show that belief, that care, then how in the world can I, as a reader, as like the person who's like watching the show, gonna have that same belief and care about their goal and their mission and purpose if they're not showcasing that themselves? So that's why I made it like, okay, emotions is very, very important when it comes to storytelling, more than I'm starting to realize, honestly. And as you can see here, I have an example of a good one. It was called Gachiakuta. Please correct me in the comments. Gachiakuta, something like that. But yeah, this one had also a great premise. But if you look here, right, yeah, right here. If you look here, there's a reason why it's saying that is like the best 2025 like new anime, at least, that came out. And it's because of the emotions that the main character displayed. Without spoiling that much, it's really about a main character who got banished from his homeland, basically, and from a crime that he didn't do. But even from the trailers, just seeing his emotional reaction, like seeing the people that betrayed him, and seeing like their faces, and also seeing, and mainly his emotions in his face, like how deeply he was hurt, like seeing that. And then of course watching episode 1, understanding him as a character, and then seeing how he grew up as a person, why he is the way he is, and then just seeing how his life is just stripped away from him, and how deeply hurt he was because of it. That's why I got invested into the show. That's what made me care and believe. It was like, yeah, like I am rooting for this character. Like I hope he gets his revenge. I hope he finds the people who done this to him. And because I had questions too, like even before they showed it, was like, oh man, why did they not scam, but why did they falsely accuse them, instantly without any evidence or lack of evidence at all? Why did the person who actually did it, like, why did he do it? And why did he do it to him? There's a ton of questions, but because the main character's sole mission is to figure that out himself, and he truly cares about it deeply, like you can see it in his face that like every move, all his intention is to solve these questions that we also are curious to finding out ourselves. So that's why I'm so deeply invested into this show. And I truly believe emotions is really the difference maker of what's his name, Rudy, right, or Rudo? Yeah, Rudo. That's the main difference. Is why I'm so invested in Rudo's character and his journey, cause it's like now I feel like I'm a part of something. Like I could feel that this is his deeper purpose. You know, you could feel it. Like you have to see the belief first before you could believe it yourself. You know, I think that's what works in real life too. If you know, you know. You know. But I hope you get something out of this, especially with your own stories or anything like that, or maybe you starting to realize why you connect with some shows and not with others. You know, even the ones with similar or the same premise. This could honestly be the difference maker right here. It's just how well they display the characters' emotions and how deeply impacted these characters are. You know, I think that's honestly the 90% of shows problem is if it has a great premise they just relying on that great premise, the great plot lines. But if the emotions is not there, if the characters are not like, you know, emotionally involved or engaged, then it's like what's the point? You know, it's like there how can character growth happen if they're not too involved emotionally, right? So yeah, you could let me know any examples you have in the comment section. Like, what are some stories of some great premises, great potential, but it's just lacking something. Like, it just have something missing that is like. So yeah, you let me know like what stories you've seen that had like great potential, but it's like lacking something. Like, it could be engaging characters' emotions, and that's why your emotions not engage. Or maybe you let me know any other elements you believe is missing that is like wasting its potential. Like maybe I'm missing some other stuff, but I think emotions is covers a lot of it, honestly, like most of the time. So yeah, you let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. If you're interested in working with me about like your outlines and you need feedback or ideas, you could click on one of the videos here or there, or there's a link somewhere showcasing my video of explaining my consultation calls. So if you're interested in working with me one on one, then you could click on that and you could see how that works, or you could click on the link down below. You could like book a call with me. But yeah, thank you for watching. I hope this video helps. I hope you learned that how important emotions are for your characters, not only for your characters, but to engage your readers. You know, sometimes we try to think of what are some great plot that could help us engage our readers, but you should start thinking about what are the type of emotions we should have our characters feel so that we could have our readers feel a certain way as well. You know, that's something to think about. But yeah, thank you for watching. I hope you have a great rest of your day. Thank you.